After decades of trying to be relevant and generate attention in the realm of sports, the WNBA may have finally found its golden goose, so to speak, that could propel them to new heights, as well as bring in a ton of money for them, with the arrival of Caitlin Clark. Dubbed as the girl version of Steph Curry, Clark has attracted a lot of eyeballs with her incredible range and flashy playstyle. I mean, she was so damn good that she became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer in college basketball history for both men's and women's categories in such a short period. And on top of that, she's also broken a ton of long-standing records and established new ones that are just too many to count. What Caitlin has done so far in women's basketball is unprecedented. And right now, we're seeing the Caitlin Clark effect translating smoothly into the WNBA, especially when it comes to viewership ratings and in other business areas, which boost the overall marketability of the league. I mean, according to the WNBA themselves, they saw an attendance spike of more than 150% this season compared to last year. Then in terms of TV ratings, the number has tripled to over 1.3 million viewers. And the same trend follows whether it's about merchandise sales or in their social media following. Now, you can argue all day about the external factors as to why the business is booming for the WNBA right now, but you can't deny that Caitlin Clark and her extremely entertaining persona have a lot to do with it. But see, despite the obvious, the WNBA seems to be fumbling the ball with how they're treating their biggest superstar right now. I mean, just recently, the WNBA left her off the Olympic roster that will be competing this summer in Paris. And as expected, it has stirred a lot of controversies and debates among basketball analysts and fans about whether she deserved a spot or not. Well, speaking of analysts, Chris Broussard dropped his hot take on the issue, and he said that the WNBA made a huge mistake get those people saying that as good as Caitlin is, she's still a rookie, and she has to earn her spot. But as Brew pointed out, Caitlin is not your typical rookie. She's about to average 15, 5, and 5. She's packing arenas left and right, whether it's a home game or an away game. I mean, leaving her out of the Olympic roster is a big misfire for the WNBA, because it has cost them the opportunity to promote and put eyeballs on the WNBA as a sports product, and women's basketball in America in general. I mean, let's be real here. No one really cared about the WNBA competing in the Olympics as much as their male counterpart until the news broke out that Caitlin was snubbed. And on second thought, I think she may have even helped them out indirectly, because now more people would be tuning into the Olympics to see them win it all, or how they will end up without Caitlin playing in their corner. Anyway, there have been a lot of speculations going around as to why Caitlin was not included, and one of them is that Diana Taurasi took her spot in the lineup. Now, of course, this is just a rumor more than anything, but if this is true, I think Caitlin should be chosen over 42-year-old Taurasi, or at least given a spot. Even if it's the 11th or 12th spot on the roster, simply based on her performance this season. I mean, as you can see here, the stats suggest that Clark is actually matching up with Taurasi. And if you look closely, Caitlin is actually better and more efficient than Taurasi in all categories aside from hitting shots beyond the arc. Again, the numbers backed up that Caitlin is not merely a marketing mascot or some sort of advertising tool to promote the WNBA. The girl clearly has skills and can hoop at a high level. But despite this, the big question still remains. Why did they leave her out? Well, according to the explanation of USA Basketball, the reason why they didn't pick Caitlin was due to her lack of experience, and even emphasizing it further by citing that they value it over popularity. I mean, I'm not against what they said, and I agree with them that picking the right players that will fit best with one another is the most important thing in building a winning roster. But see, implying that Caitlin is just going to be a player who will turn the turnstile and put people on seats, without recognizing the fact that she has talent and skill, leaves a bad taste in Caitlin's mouth. Because as you saw earlier, her numbers speak for itself. And this is also why I'm not buying this kind of reasoning. And the main thing that really bothers me with this issue is that, while they said that Caitlin's lack of experience was the real reason why they skipped her out, they actually came across as hypocritical on this one. Because back in the 2004 Olympics, they selected a 22-year-old rookie without any professional experience to be part of Team USA. And that player coincidentally happens to be Diana Taurasi. Now here's where things get a bit spicy and more interesting. When Taurasi was asked about her opinion on Caitlin being snubbed right after the reporter pointed out that she was almost in the same situation as Caitlin 20 years ago, Taurasi took subtle shots at her and said,
Because you were young yourself, and tell me if I'm wrong, weren't you named to the roster as soon as you graduated, right? You were young.
Yeah, after I won 3 national championships in a row, I was named.
Jeez. How did you handle it? And also, do you have any advice for her moving forward, how to handle it?
Yeah, I mean, like anything, I was the youngest on that team by far. I had just amazing veterans that just took me under their wing and really showed me the ropes. You know, when I talk about Lisa and Cheryl and Dawn and Tina, I mean, talk about the Mount Rushmore of basketball. I was right there watching them, their every move, the way they prepared, how serious they took it. You know, and not only that, I had to learn the ropes too. You know, I had to make sure I knew what place I was in and how I could help the team in any possible way. And like I said before, the game of basketball is all about evolving. It's all about getting comfortable with your surroundings. And, you know, college basketball is much different than the WNBA than it is overseas. Each one almost is like a different dance you have to learn. And once you learn the steps and the rhythm, and you have a skill set that is superior than everyone else, everything will fall in place.
Taurasi justified her inclusion in the 2004 Olympic team by saying that she won 3 national championships, which is why she got in even though she was a rookie at that time. I mean, she just sent a strong message to Caitlin saying that despite how good you were in college, the reason why you didn't get the nod is because you failed to win a championship, regardless of how many records you shattered and awards you've gotten. See, based on how she delivered it, Taurasi seems a bit jealous of Caitlin, because maybe she was not as impactful nor popular as her back when she was a rookie. And upon digging a bit more into her low-key hating, here's Taurasi once again, talking about what awaits Caitlin when she finally steps into the league.
I know on the NBA side, like those guys, those vets are just like, all right, come get it, young fella, right? When the college guys come out, they're waiting for them. I mean, Camilla's coming, Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
You know, there's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you know, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, you know, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
Right on. That's perfectly said.
Now, it was not only Taurasi who seemed to not be a big fan of Caitlin, because just like the 20-year vet, Brianna Stewart also took her shot at Caitlin by saying,
"Does Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats in women's college basketball history?"
Yeah, she does.
After hearing that stuff coming from her peers, there's no doubt that a lot of current WNBA players don't like Caitlin and all the attention that she's getting. And apparently, even WNBA legends like Cheryl Swoops felt the same way.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be. And I don't think it should be.
And the sad part is that record would never be broke because
there'll never be another COVID year.
COVID year. Well, there's
right?
never going to be probably another 5 or 6 years you can play in college sports, right? And that's the thing about it, right? Like, it should be a whole separate entity.
Yeah, and it's not to take anything away from what she's done, but if you're talking about breaking records, then if this player did it in this amount of time, then you should do it in that same amount of time. So that's my thought on that.
Saying stuff like that to discredit the greatness of a projected transcendent player is just plain absurd to me. I mean, just to compare, you never heard LeBron, Steph, KD, or other great players in the NBA bad-mouthing or saying negative stuff about Victor Wembanyama. And, in fact, they were even praising him and acknowledging his talent. Like, they were calling him an alien, a cheat code, and a problem. Clearly, the WNBA players are just jealous that a rookie is taking the spotlight away from them. Or perhaps they're afraid that they'll be forgotten, along with all the things that they've done for the WNBA. Well, it's certainly not Caitlin's fault that she's about to take over the league because she, in her own right, has put in the work to become a great player this early in her basketball career. My point is, if they hate Caitlin, then they have to raise their game to her level, so they'll get the same attention and recognition that she's been getting. Now, to wrap this up, here's Charles Barkley telling the WNBA and its players how they should be treating Caitlyn instead.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you are 100% right. Y'all girls, stop being petty. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the WNBA.
Anyway, guys, what's your take on this Caitlyn Clark situation going on in the WNBA right now? Do they really hate her personally? Or they're just jealous because they're not as famous as her? Let me know your thoughts on this by dropping your comments below, and until then, see you next time.